was Jeannie, all 6'7" tall of her. Uh, I got off work at 11 that night and stayed till 3 in the morning, and we talked and we talked and we talked and we talked. Inevitably, we got together and basically we fell in love and started dating. And in October of 2001, the 27th of October to be exact, Jeannie made every wish of mine come true, and she married me and became my wife. And we started out on a glorious life, and we thought nothing could go wrong. But, you know, just when you start thinking something like that, something does come along. We had such a good life and had so much fun, had such a good marriage that I just didn't see anything ever changing. Well, in 2004, early part, things started to change. I don't really know what happened, but we just started drifting apart. And it got so bad that by August we were ready to separate. And she was brokenhearted and so was I, and neither one of us really knew what had happened or how to fix it. I was, one Saturday night I was sitting in front of my computer listening to old gospel tunes, and the one I was listening to was How Great Thou Art by the late Tennessee Ernie Ford. I'm sitting there and I'd been drinking, and tears started flowing down my face, and the tears were unusual in the fact that they were just hot. They actually burnt and stung my face. And you know, without warning, I just looked right straight up and I said, "If you're there, please help me. I'm at my wit's end." And then it was just like a thunderbolt. I got this peace feeling about me. I knew that things were going to be okay, and I ran in and told Jeannie, and I'm sure she thought I was nuts or drunk, and I was drunk, but I wasn't nuts. So I told her I was going to go to church the next morning, and I did go to church the next morning for the first time in 40 years. I gave my life to Jesus Christ, and that would have been about August the 10th, I believe. And December the 4th of 2004, I was baptized into the body. As soon as I gave my life to Christ, our marriage changed. Things got a lot better. And that's when I learned about being unequally yoked. About the same time, Jeannie got bored with her job in Prescott, and she went down to Phoenix and took a job at a pediatric long-term care facility. And she just loved the job, and she drove back and forth for a while, and then we rented a condo. And then eventually I just ended up moving down there, and we rented a house in Gilbert. And our life was just going along well. She met this little guy where she worked by the name of Alex, and just fell in love with him. He's such a joy. And as you look at the photos, you can see what she saw in him. We just fell in love with him. And on more than one occasion, he almost died. One particular occasion I can remember is he had been on a ventilator in the hospital for several days, and the doctor said it's time to just take him off. And they disconnected the respirator and removed the tube, and he didn't breathe. And his grandmother was by the bed, and she motioned Jeannie up to the bed because she knew how much Jeannie cared for him. And Jeannie looked down and touched his little stomach with her finger and rubbed him and said, "It's okay, baby. If it's time for you to go home, go home." He took a breath and started breathing, and he's still alive today. In June of 2006, Jeannie's back pain, which she had suffered from since she was 10 years old when she first hurt her back, just became unbearable, and she went to several doctors, I should say we did, and she ended up having 6 hours of back surgery. She came home and everything seemed to be going along okay for about a month. And then the pain returned and she wasn't able to exercise or anything like that. We went back to the doctor several times and he said everything was good. And she went to her primary care physician on numerous occasions. They just, you know, nobody really seemed interested. And then September the 8th, she got so sick that I had to call 911, and we took her to Mercy Gilbert Medical Center. They're in Gilbert, and sad to say, she never left the hospital. She was diagnosed with lymphoma, which had led to kidney failure and multiple infections. She was in the ICU, had numerous procedures, and it was just like she was just slowly getting worse, and she just really never got better. On October the 27th of 2006, it was our 5th anniversary, and even though Jeannie was extremely ill and still in ICU with a million tubes in and out of her body, we renewed our vows, and it was a beautiful ceremony. It was short. Jeannie was so ill, so weak, but she did make it through the ceremony, and she was able to smile and give me a kiss. And that's one thing that we'll never forget. Jeannie's condition just continued to worsen. No matter what they did, she just didn't get better. They did start chemotherapy for the lymphoma, but it was just too far advanced. And on November the 22nd of 2006, at 11:14 in the morning, Jeannie did expire, and she went to heaven, where she no longer hurts. She's no longer in pain. There's no one there to put her down or give her a hard time. And it's taken me 2 years to get over the loss, but with God's help, through lots of prayer and family and friends, I've made it. And I hope this film has inspired you to ask God what He can do for you. And in actuality, it's what you can do for Him, because we're here to glorify Him. And looking back, if Jeannie did one thing her whole life, she did glorify God in everything and every task that she ever started and completed. So this will conclude this film. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the music. And as Jeannie used to say often, all glory to God.